Good afternoon. I would like to call this town council meeting of Tuesday, March 18th, 2025 to order. If you will stand and join in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you will continue standing as we have the invocation today from Pastor Jeff North of Hilton Head Lutheran Church.
Just a word of thank you for your service. It's greatly appreciated by my wife and myself and by so many others maybe that you don't realize. And that thank you extends to all that are here and those that are working behind the scenes. Thank you. A reading from Psalm 112. Praise the Lord, blessed is the one who fears the Lord, who greatly delights in his commandments. It is well with the one who deals generously and lends, who conducts his affairs with justice. We pray. Eternal Lord, ruler of all, graciously regard those who have been set in positions of authority among us, that guided by your Spirit and presence, they may be high in purpose, wise in counsel, firm in good resolution, and unwavering in duty, that under them we may be governed quietly and peaceably. And we pray for their families, that you would provide protection as well as the needs which we know and those we don't. We come before you in your precious name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. Mr. Orlando, do we have any alterations or additions to today's agenda?
No, sir.
Can I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That is unanimous, 7-0. We've had a regular meeting minutes of March 4th. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
We have a first and a second. All those in favor, or any discussion first? Okay, none. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand, 7-0. Thank you so much. Up next, we will have Mr. Orlando's Town Manager's Report.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, members of the public. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council, members of the public. A couple things to report on today. First and foremost, a special thank you to Chief Blankenship and his team. On Wednesday, March 5th, Fire Rescue deployed an engine company with 4 personnel, a brush truck with 2 personnel, and a battalion chief as part of the Regional Wildland Task Force to assist Horry County Fire Rescue with the Carolina Forest Wildfire. Our crews deployed under the South Carolina Firefighter Mobilization Agreement returned home after completing 96 hours of deployment, where they worked 4 hours on and 4 hours off for 4 days straight. Stormwater Operations Manager, and this is as Jeff Netzinger was promoted to Engineering Director, created some space, and Teresa McVeigh was promoted to really Division Lead for all traffic operations. So thank you to both of them. A couple of things to let you know. You might see some work going on in the community. We are sprucing up, or I would say, spring cleaning. We are getting ready for the season. Our facility director, Derek Coaxum, and his entire team, along with Sean Leiniger, have what I would say started to notice the details a lot better this year than in past. And so some more work that you'll see going on. And if you have any questions, Mayor and Council, I'll be happy to share them with you, share some answers with you. But the Stony Oaks area, the landscape improvements will be complete April 4th, more or less. Contractor delivery, we're anticipating April 4th. Some more Pope Avenue landscaping enhancement as it finds its way to the Sea Pine Circle. You'll start seeing that work really between March 31 and April 7. We were waiting to see if that landscaping was going to come back after the freeze, and it didn't. So we're going to make some enhancements there. We work with the Department of Transportation and with Sea Pines on that. And then Matthews Drive, Beach City Circle landscaping. some more completion there by April 8th. Our big project, William Hilton Parkway 3 Dillon to Beach City Road, is inching along. I'll admit that. I want to see it move faster. Sean Leiniger and I had that conversation this morning. However, it's contractor and equipment and whatnot availability. Signs seem to be in, plans in place, DOT encroachment permit in place, landscaping almost in, and next steps are concrete, striping, bollards, and some finished signage, I should say. So, excuse me. So a lot of good work going on, a lot at once, and I appreciate your support. That concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Next, I will present a proclamation for Disabilities Awareness Month. We have Galen Stirrup Cameo, Chair of the Beaufort County Disabilities and Special Needs Advisory Board. Come down here real quick. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. All right, the Town of Hilton Head Island Disabilities Awareness Month Proclamation. Whereas individuals with developmental disabilities, their families, friends, neighbors, and coworkers encourage everyone to focus on the abilities of all people. And whereas the most effective way to increase their awareness is through everyone's active participation in community activities and the openness to learn and acknowledge each individual's contribution. And whereas opportunities for citizens with developmental disabilities to function as independently and productively as possible must be fostered in our community. And whereas we encourage all citizens to support opportunities for individuals with developmental disabilities in our community that include full access to education, housing, employment, and recreational activities. Now, therefore, I, Alan Perry, Mayor of the Town of Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, do hereby proclaim this month of March 2025 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month in the Town of Hilton Head Island, and encourage our citizens to work together to promote increased opportunities for people with disabilities to recognize their many contributions made by people with disabilities to our community, and to honor the dedication of the caregivers who bring support and hope to their fellow citizens. In testimony whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause this seal of the Town of Hilton Head Island to be affixed this 18th day of March in the year of our Lord, 2025. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for all of you.
I don't know, would you guys like me to say a few words? Absolutely, sure. Okay, cool thing. Hello, Mayor, Councilman, council members, town manager, and citizens. My name is Galen Stirrup-Camo. I am the chair of the Disabilities and the Beaufort County Disabilities and Special Needs Department's Advisory Board. I want to thank you all very much for this proclamation, and it really means a lot to be able to bring awareness to disabilities and the individuals that live with them. One of them is right here. I have benefited from disability services all through school. I then worked, my family worked with individuals with disabilities in our home, caretaking them. Then from there, I've worked in different organizations doing this work myself, both as direct support or direct service, and also case management. And now I work now I'm here in an advisory role. And what I want to say is that the hard work and dedication of every single employee over at Beaufort County Disabilities and Special Needs is immeasurable, honestly. They do such wonderful work to support and foster the independence of every single individual that they're working with, from when they're doing things for early intervention, then support while the school system is supporting them as they're growing up, and then when they become adults and need services as adults to help foster their independence. And the commitment that those employees have to their jobs is inspiring. And then the individuals that work with them and all the things that an individual may not feel like that person is capable of doing that. They are. And there are many disabilities that go unseen, ones where, you know, you don't necessarily see a physical ailment, but more of a mental disability going on, or their needs are not as high as others. It's still important to recognize every single one, and the fact that you guys are doing this today is wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, and everyone have a wonderful March. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sign it? So don't mess up. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Next, we'll move on to general reports from town council. Does anybody have any general reports at this time? Mr. Brown.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Great afternoon to everyone. Some of you may have joined us at our strategic planning retreat a few weeks ago. We are still awaiting a deeper conversation around our priorities and our strategic plan for the next 3 to 5 years. At this point, we are still operating under the current strategic plan that was adopted. We talked a bit about our committee structure during that event. And we have made a change to a 3-person committee versus a 4-person committee, which I think we all agreed made a lot of sense because 4 persons represent a quorum of council that we do not want. We also made a commitment to have all council persons participate in those committee meetings so that all are heard at the working level, okay? I always sort of view those committee meetings as enhanced workshops so we can talk through things and give staff very direct information as to what we would like to see as a finished product. And I just want to focus a little bit on finished product so that the community and the staff have confidence that if there are items that are in our comprehensive plan or our strategic plan that will lead to policy decisions made by this council, that the committees are playing a role of putting together a product that the full council will have the opportunity to vote on. It is not a veto opportunity at the committee level. We are to work through issues and bring forth product to the entire council to ultimately vote on. So I just want to make sure I say that out loud to the community. I've been asked a lot of questions about this. I know that our staff, our volunteers that work on initiatives such as housing, they want the confidence to know that what they put forward, although we may not agree on it, we will have the opportunity to make a decision at the end of the day as a full council. So those are my comments during general report. Mr. Mayor, I think it's important for us to say out loud to the community that we may have changed the structure, but the outcome is still going to be the same.
All right, thank you. Other general reports? Ms. Becker?
Just to follow up to that report, that was an awful lot to have laid on the table, though I'm not sure that there was a complete consensus that that was a step forward. The process that we've used previously does not coincide with those statements. And so if we're working under old policies, then we need to continue to do that until such time that this entire council has had that discussion and made those decisions. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Bryson?
Sir, just on another note, a quick report. The Hilton Head International Piano Competition concluded last night with an incredible concert at First Presbyterian Church. Also, St. Luke's Anglican Church had hosted some of the competition. The competitors were from a total of 10 different countries, spoke many different languages. In addition to those who reached the semifinals and finals, there were ambassadors going out to the local school systems, also to retirement communities, and lunch at the Rotary Club. So a total of 1,500 folks also heard those competitors play. It was incredible music. Kudos to the Hilton Head International Piano Competition Committee and all those volunteers. Also, the Hilton Head Symphony Orchestra performed last night, 3 incredible symphonies with the 3 finalists. You won't find a finer display of that kind of music anywhere in the world. It really was, it makes us proud as a small community to have that kind of music in our community. So congratulations to the competition committee, to all those who performed, and to all those many, many volunteers who worked hard to put this on. We should be duly proud.
Absolutely. Ms. Becker?
And I'd like to follow up on Councilwoman Bryson's comments. I too was in attendance with my husband, and it was an incredible evening. And I also want to give you congratulations on your introduction to the evening. You did a phenomenal job and represented our town well. And if you haven't been able to go in the past, please next year make time in your schedule for even one evening. It is everything you just heard and more.
And thank you for welcoming everybody last night. Real quick, unfortunately Sunday, St. Patty's Day Parade was canceled. What a terrible, terrible thing. That committee really put in a lot of work over the past year to create a fun day. Mother Nature has difference of opinions sometimes. So, next year look for the 40th, 42nd, parade. But just a kudos to them for all the great work that they put into it, and just think they need to be recognized. As well as on Saturday night, there were some great organizations that were recognized by the Chamber of Commerce, some great organizations, some great individuals that really have helped to make this even a greater community than what it could be. So just a kudos to them as well. So now we will move on to individual reports. Ms. Becker, Low Country Area Transportation Study.
I do not have a report from last month. Our next meeting is April 4th, and I will report back after that.
Okay, Low Country Council of Governments, Steve Alfred.
The Low Country Council representing Beaufort, Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper had a meeting on February 27th. That was part at a time when we were transitioning, so I didn't get all the materials before the meeting, but there were two things that they reported on that were positive. One of which is that I-95 reconstruction from the Georgia line to Exit 8 will be done this year. And the second that I thought was nice to hear was that on area roads, auto and bike pedestrian fatalities have been declining.
All right, Beaufort County Airports Board, Ms. Hunter.
Phase 1 of, that's loud. Phase 1 of the terminal project is on track to be completed next spring. This includes the expanded interior space, jet bridges, etc. They're looking for funding on Phase 2 of the terminal project, which will include renovating and expanding the current terminal space. John Rembolt said he's requesting $2 million in funding to support St. James Baptist Church's relocation. Bill Herbsman will be advocating for this in the House. Commercial passenger totals are down in January, minus 2.5%, which isn't bad considering the airport had to shut down for a couple of days due to snow. And February year to date, however, is down 12.6% year to date. And I'll be looking for an opportunity to organize a site tour for town council so that you can see what is going on with the terminal renovation and space.
Awesome, thank you. Next, we'll go on to the Southern Low Country Regional Board, and I'll go ahead and take that one. We met on February 25th, and Alice and Tab Tabernick, Alice Howard, Chairwoman Howard, and Vice Chair Tabernick were going to be there. Ms. Tabernick was there, and she talked about their goals for the county for 2025, getting out to the public and having meetings with municipalities in their hometowns. I think it's great leadership that they're putting forward and communication to make certain that we're all working together for the betterment of our community. Jasper County Councilman John Kemp, he also spoke in reference to the same thing about how they're going to get out and work more with the municipalities in Jasper County. There was a quick recap of the 2024 sales tax referendum, challenges, issues, what may go on in the future, but no decisions are, obviously Soloco doesn't make any decisions, but just a kind of a recap on that. And then future discussions coming forward, they're looking at, I'm trying to remember what it is next week that they're doing. Oh, plastic bag ban is coming back around for discussion. Talking about some board subcommittees to make certain that everything is being addressed appropriately. So that's that for Soloco. Next, we will go on to Island Recreation Association. Mr. Brown.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, 600-plus youth soccer players will take the field this week for the first games of the spring season. There's a new program of youth flag rugby that has over 25 players. The senior center has had a busy few months with classes and trips. 50-plus members celebrated St. Patrick's Day on Monday. The dome of the pool is coming down this week. This year, during the winter, the staff was able to provide swim lessons to second grade classes and expanded sessions to their Water Babies program. Encourage everybody to check out the Island Recreation's annual report, which is posted on their website. There's lots of great information there. And finally, please join Wingfest Saturday, 11 to 5 at Celebration Park.
All right, thank you. Next, I'll go into Beaufort County Economic Development Corporation. When we came out of executive session, we discussed whether to proceed on certain purchases within Beaufort County. Talked about grant projects and where they stand with funding. So we approved roughly 4 different organizations for continued funding. Performance agreements with Stoneworks, Blackwoody, Beaufort Regional Chamber of Commerce were approved. Entered into an agreement with the developer for 72,000 square feet spec building in Beaufort Commerce Park. An RFP for due diligence on 372 acres in Whale Branch. Quick discussion on sponsorship committees. And then there was an announcement for Project Salmon, which is TS Conductor out of California. And they made their announcement in Hardyville, Hardyville Business Park to 300,000 square feet that they're moving into by the end of this year. By the end of 28, they'll be into another 1 million square feet of space, generating anywhere between 400 and 550 jobs. And I want to take a moment and expand on this just a little bit. As we're talking about economic development throughout Beaufort and Jasper counties, we also need to understand what it means to us in terms of employees and what challenges we are going to face. I've been having conversations with Mayor Williams to figure out ways that we might be able to attract some of these businesses' headquarters and or research and development sites or other aspects that could be held on Hilton Head because those are the higher paying jobs and they may wish to live here. But these are some things that I've also asked Town Manager Gruber if he might be able to come in and talk to us and let us know what things are being proposed for Hardyville because those are going to be direct impacts onto our workforce. So that was that. Gullah Geechee Historic Neighborhoods Community Development Corporation, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The committee met on March 18th of 2025. We got an update on the wayfinding solution development. We also discussed a small business loan program, which will offer loans ranging from $5,000 to $50,000 to businesses within the historic Gullah Geechee neighborhoods. We also discussed a real estate loan program, which will provide loans ranging from $50,000 to $200,000 to landowners with property holdings in the historic Gullah Geechee neighborhoods. And we also adopted our 2025 meeting schedule. I invite all of the public and council, of course, to join us in our future discussions. Thank you.
All right. Community Service and Public Safety, Ms. Becker.
Thank you. The Community Service and Public Safety Committee met yesterday on, yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. Gosh, it's been a long. And we look forward to our next meeting, where I'm hoping that we have an awful lot of applications from the folks here in Hilton Head who are interested in serving on our committees and commissions and boards to review and bring in for interviews so that we can get you involved in your town government. Thank you.
Thank you. And then last, report of the Finance Administrative Committee, Mr. Brown.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've actually met twice since our last meeting. Our meeting before last, we talked about affiliated agencies and preparation for today's meeting, which my colleagues on the committee said that I need to work on shorter meetings. I'll get y'all taken care of there. No, today was a really good topic with our affiliated agencies that have approached the town for funding. Obviously, there was a lot of information provided to us by each one of those agencies. All of council, with the exception of the mayor, which I know you were online watching, participated in the conversation outside of just the committee members. So ultimately, there was a recommendation made that will go to the budget process. So we'll see the allocations of around $1.9 million of funding for affiliate agencies to be considered by this council at first reading of our budget. We also had a discussion around the MOU process. Some of our affiliate agencies have MOUs, some do not. We want to get more consistent with that. So we've charged staff with moving forward with having conversations with our partners about revising or creating MOUs. We also gave staff direction to take another look at our affiliated agency criteria and how we get to the point of approval. So that will be in the making with staff and our town attorney moving forward. That's the report, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll now move on to unfinished business. We have the second and final reading of an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a long-term lease between the town and Sandalwood Community Food Pantry of town-owned property on Augusta Lane. This was passed on March 4th with a motion carried 6-1. No changes have been made since first reading. Is there a motion?
I move to adopt the ordinance authorizing execution and delivery of a long-term lease between the town and Sandalwood Community Food Pantry of town-owned property on Augusta Lane on second reading.
Is there a second? Mr. Alfred? Any discussion by council? Kim, has anybody signed up to speak on this?
Actually, yes, we do have one. Nanette?
Did you want to speak, Ms. Pearson?
She signed up. She would, do you want public comment now?
Yes.
Okay, come
You
on
can
up.
speak now.
Hello, everybody. I sat in the turtle section and I didn't know, because I just fed 500 people and I walked in and there were all the turtles. I want to thank our Mayor, Alan Perry, our Town Manager, Mark Orlando. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. I want to thank Sean Colin and Josh Gruber, who never gave up on the support when Steve Riley introduced us. I want to thank my Ward 1 councilman and friend, Alex Brown, for his many years of encouragement. I want to thank the council, all of the council, for your support. The people I love and serve have called me many different names. Doc, Rev, Jesus in ladies' clothes, a saint. Trust me, I've been a sinner too, like most saints. But by the grace of God, I have remained faithful and resilient. And this will be a resilient pantry, surrounded by nature. Every tree will be protected. Because of one of my beloved Indian saints. I travel to India every year for a month for my healing from cancer. Saints are like trees. They do not call to anyone, neither do they send anyone away. They give shelter to whoever cares to come, be it a man, woman, child, or animal. If you sit under a tree, it'll protect you from the weather, from the scorching sun, as well as from the pouring rain. It will give you flowers and fruit. Whether a human being enjoys them or a bird tastes of them matters little to the tree. Its produce is there for anyone who comes and takes it. And this resilient pantry that you have all supported will do just that. So I thank you all.
All right, thank you.
That's all.
That's all, thank you. Now we'll call for the vote. All those in favor of the motion considering the ordinance authorizing the execution of a delivery of a long-term lease between the town and Sandalwood Community Food Pantry of the town-owned property on Augusta Lane. Motion by Ms. Bryson, second by Mr. Alford. Please signify by raising your right hand approval. All those opposed? Motion carries 6-1.
Thank you.
John, thank you for that great presentation. Next, we'll move into public comment on non-agenda items. I would like to remind everybody of the new ordinance that was adopted in June that states that everyone wishing to make a public comment must fill out the form prior to the meeting. Kim, is anybody signed up to speak?
Yes, we do. Heather Raff,
I do not see her.
Brian Terizzi,
Mr. Mayor, Town Council, Town Manager, citizens. My name is Brian Teresi, and I'm here to represent the Sea Turtle Patrol Program. I live in Port Royal Plantation, which is in Ward 6, proudly represented by Melinda Tunner. And when we moved here 10 years ago, we got involved with Amber Kuhn and her Sea Turtle program to start something called Hole Patrol on the beach. That had kind of a dubious distinction because a lot of people thought that meant something else. But the reality was back then, we were seeing holes on the beach that were 4 to 6 feet deep. In fact, there are pictures of me in some of these holes where only my head and shoulders are coming out of the hole. And the town, through their due diligence of helping us, managed to pass an ordinance a few years later that limited the size of holes and shovels on the beach. So we're very, very proud of that. And as things moved along, the program had a various number of name changes, and now it's called Sea Turtle Patrol HHI. And as part of that, there have been a number of different sub-programs going on, one of which is now the Sea Turtle Friendly Certified Hotel Program, for hotels and timeshares through the administration of my wife, Elaine, has actually caused a bit of competition among the hotels because now they all want to sign up for this program because visitors here are now asking about ecotourism on Hilton Head. And as a result of that, more and more people are coming here. And the culmination of that is this past year, the Southeastern Regional Sea Turtle Network, which represents sea turtle programs from Virginia all the way to Texas, had their annual meeting here on Hilton Head. So as a result of that, and the new ordinances that you folks pass about light patrol, we have been very encouraged how you and the Chamber of Commerce have now worked very nicely with Sea Turtle Patrol, but we've only had one problem over all these years. And that problem is we've never had a home. Most organizations do have a place where they camp out, and we only have a tent over in Islanders Beach where the vehicles are stored and everything else. So what we're asking you to consider, and hopefully with your cooperation in the past, you'll consider using the now abandoned Wild Wings building to be a potential home for Sea Turtle Patrol. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christopher Cliff,
Christopher Cliff, first of all, apologies for signing up so late, Kim, I'm sorry. LATS, Local Area Transportation Study. Currently on their website is the draft 2-year strategic plan. And it's open to public comment by the 31st of March. And it's going to be discussed at the meeting on April the 4th. It's well worth a read. You have to close your eyes to overlook all the typing errors. Stephanie Rossi had a bad day. But very importantly, I think you should look at it because nowhere in there is any mention of the consideration of a second access to the island. And if you remember, when we were discussing the bridge back in 2024, on more than one occasion it was mentioned LATS were going to bring forward a study to investigate an alternative access. It's not mentioned there anywhere. They do mention that they're looking for $500,000 to fund a review of the corridor from the 95 to the island. It's unfunded. It's not quite clear what their objective is. But I think it's very important that the public should know we have an opportunity to submit comments by the 31st of March. And I think it's very, very important when you think of the last 8 years' discussion about the bridge, that we actually do say to them, hey guys, there's an issue here. Okay? Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Amber Kuhn?
I don't know if you recognize me. I'm not wearing a blue shirt today. I came off the boat. Town manager, council, Mayor Perry, I have a lot of support. So I just want to thank you guys for coming and supporting my request, which you have been aware of for a while. Sea Turtle Patrol needs a home. We know it's coming regardless. We've identified where we want to be, and we have a family foundation who is waiting to hear from me whether their $500,000 will be utilized to put toward the refurbishment of that building. I know that it was scheduled for a parking lot. I know that Enchiladas is also scheduled for a parking lot. I think that if there are two of them, this is not going to go over well for our brand and our community. The area is already overcrowded. Adding parking spaces is not going to be a solution to that overcrowding aspect. With my organization, I have found that with the ordinances produced, we have been more of a beach etiquette proponent. We've had several ordinances passed to improve the beach, which in turn improves the sea turtle nesting habitat. Yesterday, we had a beach operations meeting, and we all became aware that the sharing shack is no longer, so that fell through the crack. That's something that would be great located at the former Wild Wings building, in addition to some beach operations and Shore Beach Services satellite office and a facility for Sea Turtle Patrol with the public welcome. We also talked about the Beach Ambassador program that we're having trouble staffing. And it was mentioned that maybe Sea Turtle Patrol volunteers might be interested in doing that, because why? Because we are the beach ambassadors in many cases. And if there was a building right there, how easy would it be for us to be the beach ambassadors? So we want to serve the town in so many ways. We want to conserve the sea turtles. You guys, come on. And we want to promote all of this eco-friendly etiquette that we say we are world-class at, but it doesn't seem to be that way. And paving a parking lot, again, is not going to make that happen. It is already a parking lot, a lot of it, and I'm only asking for half of those spaces in the building. And if it's a concrete floor with spray painted black inside to make it cool, that's fine. I don't need it to be the Taj Mahal. I just need walls to welcome the public. Thank you for the 3 minutes.
Thank you.
I'm not sure how to pronounce this. George's. Okay.
It's a Belgian beer, so that may make it easier. Thank you, Mayor, councilman members. I wanted to introduce onehiltonhead.com to you. And the reason why I do so is I lived on the island for 9 years and I never knew what was going on. So something isn't working in the way we internalize, market, distribute the things that are happening on the island. That website was created 4 months ago, and it's now capturing 200,000 page views. What we do on the site is combine everything that's available on the island, whether it be restaurants, events, all kinds of things, everything you always wanted to know about Hilton Head Island. Because when I talk to my friends in Silicon Valley, and I came out of Silicon Valley as an entrepreneur, nobody really knows that Hilton Head even exists, let alone what's going on. So I built that site, and I want to invite the town to become part of that, because it's important that the information is not just hospitality-based, but is really driven by a foundation of governmental influence, if you will. So I'm just here to announce that. I have a card for each of you with my own pictures of Hilton Head Island, by the way.
If you could leave those with the clerk, that would be
Yeah,
great.
okay,
Yes.
super. All right, that's it, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Chester Williams. Heather Raff. That's it.
passed.
That's
Okay,
all.
that's it? All right, awesome. Thank you all for your comments. Now, Mr. Orlando, do we have a need for executive session?
Yes, sir. As identified on the agenda items 10A and 10B.
Okay, can I have a motion to go to executive session? Got a first and second. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. We are in executive session.
Next thing.
So can I have a motion to come out of executive session? We got a first and second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. We are out of executive session. Mr. Brown, do we have any action coming out of executive
No, sir.
session? No, sir. No action coming out of executive session. We are adjourned, seeing that there is no other business at hand.